Why, hello, hello, and welcome back to another guide video of RiseToWar, and today I'm going to talk about base moving, and why there's a big update that's really important for you all to know. So we'll do this real quick guide video, very fast, for any newer players or people who just want a refresher on this, how to set up a base. I'm gonna have all of my characters do this quickly. So it used to be, all right, if you go to build, and you're gonna build a tactician's fort, or you're going to build a moving base, which we're going to talk about this, a temporary base, they have changed some of the rules in a positive way. Very, very excited they did this, but you still requires a 9x9 one area of tiles, which I'll show you. Meets the target restriction area. What does that mean? Okay, well, we click on this. You move your settlement to a region already controlled by this faction, so you have to own the faction area, and it cannot be Omenlak, which is Duguldur. Okay, so you can only build your base, for example. Oops, that was loud, excuse me. For example, we're the orange faction rune. I could only move my base to somewhere in the orange faction. I could temporarily set up a temporary base ahead of time. You can do that, but if you do that, people could attack it, right? And we won't be able to really defend it as well if it's out of your region. But once you done that, if you then take the region, you can move your base there. Okay, you cannot build it anywhere with an Omenlak, which is this region lit up here around Duguldur, because that's like one of the main points of the game. So you have to fight around it. Any of the regions around it, of course you could, and any other region, as long as you own it with your color of your faction or group or kingdom, depending on the game mode you're in. So, because there's slight variations of wordings depending on the game mode you're in. So let's go ahead and say, now that we can build it next to, I believe you can build it next to roads and next to mountains. So what I'm going to do is, I want to find a 9x9 area. I still can't build it on a road or on a mountain tile. As you can see here, I built it away from the mountain. Technically, I could have put my base right up to the mountain. I didn't realize that when I was moving my base. I didn't realize they did this update the other day. But let's see, can I find a spot that has a river near me and I think there is one like right here. Well, that's the mountain pass. I don't really see any rivers. I think the river is over here, and that's kind of far away. So let's just go ahead and go somewhere closer to me. So let's see if we can build a temporary base. Let's see, can we do the 9x9 here? No, the road is in the way just slightly. So let's do... and you cannot have another tactician fort next to you. That's another big one that's still the same. You have to have one tile in between you and the other person. Okay, so that doesn't mean forts. That means their base. So as you can see here, we have one tile between us, right? There's some forts and some other buildings I have, but we're not touching our big main bases. Those can't touch. Otherwise, people could like form walls, and that'd be stupid. But it would just make the game way too hard. But let's see. Here we go. Let's go right here. So I'm going to try to do a 9x9 right here. All right. So I'm going to occupy these tiles. So I'm going to send a plethora of my units to take these tiles real quick. Go, my renowned troops, and take all of the tiles. Tonight. All right. Okay. So we're going to send out the armadas here. Go take a bunch of tiles. Go everybody, take them fast. Okay, so we'll let them go real quick. I might do a little teleport time here so you don't have to wait, so I can show you the next part here. Let me see, is there anything else I need to tell you right now? We're waiting. Let's talk about rivers real quick. Let's do that real fast while we're waiting. All the different locations. So again, there's rivers. There's a few tiles you can't build on. Let's talk about all the different tiles. So you can't directly build on a river. See how it says cannot occupy, but you can now build touching it with a fortress. So you can see this guy right here technically is touching, well, that's a one tile, so that doesn't actually count. But let's see if we can find someone on the river. This guy right here, he's built his base right on the river. See, that's a river tile, and his base is touching 3 river tiles. 5 river tiles, technically. Okay, he's touching all those tiles. You couldn't do that before. Now you can. Fantastic. I love the new addition. You can also build your base right up to a mountain. You can see this guy is touching 3 mountain tiles, right? This is diagonal touching. Touch, okay? So he's on those tiles. There's also ones called swamp tiles now. And then, of course, road tiles are always, you cannot build on them with forts or your base either, but you can now touch them. You can see this guy has a road going right by his fort, and he's got, what is that, 4 or 5 road tiles touching his base. All right, good examples there for these enemies. And then we also have one called the swamp tile, which I'm curious. I think they're mostly in This area, I remember having a lot of swamp tiles here when I was building my base, and it was really frustrating to try to build my base down. From what I remember, did they remove the swamp tiles? They may have removed the swamp tiles. Nope, there they are. So these things, you cannot build on them, but now you will be able to build touching them, okay? So these are swamp tiles. They're kind of like a mountain river tile or a road tile, right? I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, the only things that you can't build on would be mountain tiles, river tiles, swamp tiles, and road tiles, and then of course other buildings, like someone has a fort down, right? Or you don't own it, or you can't build onto a main base. Now I believe you can build touching a main capital now. So like someone could technically, maybe if there's room, fit a main base. Now because of this road tiles, I don't think there's any way they could touch this Pellager. Yeah, there's no way to do it. There's not a 9x9 anywhere without these roads in the way. But like, what about like Gondor? Right? Oh, I know. Barad-dûr. Let's see Barad-dûr here. So in theory, someone could put a base. Yeah, someone could easily just snuggle a base in right here. Right next to the fort. Right next to the road. Right there. Right? So you can easily do that around Barad-dûr. Now, I think it's a great addition to the game. I think it was really frustrating trying to find locations, because if you were in a skinny area near, let's say again, you can't build in, you could build forts and you could build tactician forts, but you can't put your temporary base and build your base in these locations, okay? That is not something you can do. Obviously, you can see there's a road here. But it was really annoying if you were in a little sliver area like this on the outskirts. You can build out here by the move bases here. And it was really frustrating that you had to like make sure you weren't touching rivers or mountains or other players' bases too, or roads. It made it, you could not fit that many people. You'd be surprised how few people you can fit on a strand of land. For example, see this road right here? This land goes to here, right? And see all these swamps? Right, tons of swamps, roads, water. If you wanted to fit a bunch of people on this little spot, this little peninsula area here, between the rivers and like where this one crossing is, you could only fit maybe 15 players in this area. When maybe you have 50. Now you could probably fit like 30, because as long as you're not touching another tile neighbor, you could fit in little spots. Like for example, you could fit 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you could fit right here. Yeah, you could fit right there now. You couldn't fit there before. You couldn't be touching the river, so you'd have to be 1 block away from the river. So this block wouldn't count because that's touching the river, right? This block wouldn't count because it's touching a swamp, right? So it would just make it really hard. You couldn't touch a road. You know, it made it really, really hard. Now, you couldn't touch a crossing before, but now I believe technically if you could somehow fit, which again, roads kind of make it where you won't ever really be able to fit next to a crossing, you could in theory be against a crossing, I think too. So anyway, we're taking all the tiles right now. Well done, men. Well done. All right, let's go ahead and occupy the other ones that are closer here. All right. You know, how far out is that one character? 2 minutes? That's too long. 2 minutes too long? Which king, you do it. They're all like, just kill everything, men. Some of my units are taking too long. So, and once you have your little 9x9 circle, which I almost have done, you'll click on the middle tile, okay? Come on, men, faster. Slay the tiles. Slay them. All right, all these like death animation sounds. So now we should be able to do it. So temporary base, I can. And see, all the requirements are set. Now, when I build this, it's going to immediately bop all my people off it. So if you want to protect it, you'll need to move your settlement. For example, let's see, I would just move Imrahil to this spot. Now, watch what happens when I click build temporary. It says I'm good. 9x1 meets, it's my region. Distance to travel, tactician. There's no other distance. Oh, this is also important. You do have to kind of reach it to be able to travel there. But this is basically you have to one resource tile away from another tactician's fort, like we explained. So I'm going to go ahead and click build and just show you that, oh, this is another update I did not know about. So I take back what I said 10 seconds ago. Glad we did it on the video. Your characters do not run away anymore. You do not need to move them off. In fact, they all just sit onto the actual tile itself. They all get stuck onto the big giant tile now that it's kind of turned into a 9x9 single tile. And then later, once this is done, 8 hours later, I'll be able to move my base here. But I also can't cancel this until I wait 8 hours as well, which is kind of a waste of my resources and time, but I'm making a video for you guys, so it's worth it. Later on, I'm going to be making, in a day or two, I'm going to be making a temporary base closer to Dol Guldur and joining in on these battles. So that will be good. That will be good indeed. And also, I just realized I don't want this guy to... He was doing something for me over here, and I forgot. He was... Oh, and this is how you build a fort. Not in case you didn't know. It's pretty easy. I just usually do this. So if you ever see this, you know it's me. This is my logo for my forts. Let's send him back there. There's new commands you can immediately stop and stuff, but we're not going to get into that for this video because it'll turn too long. I like to keep these videos between 5 to 15 minutes for my guides or my RiseToWar videos, unless it's like some event I'm doing. So anyway, with that, my friends, now you kind of know how to set up your base and how to move stuff and the new updates, which are really, really nice. Good job, RiseToWar team. I like them. Thanks to my wonderful patrons for their support. Thank you, Reb, for being a Royal Guardian. I appreciate that. That means a lot. And subscribe button's there. It's free if you want to support me that way. I also have a link down there. You can get some extra gems and also supports me for the RiseToWar if you do want to play non-free-to-play. So you get some extra bonuses. And then you can check my other stuff out. Do lots of Lord of the Rings content here. We have a lot of fun. Very positive. Fun time. And I'll see you all in the next episodes of Voice of the Rings. Thanks for watching, my friends. Stay happy.